Hey friends, how's it going? It's Erin with What a Witch Knows. I'm here to do a tarot read for y'all. Just tapping in, just seeing what's coming through. That was actually the message that I got when Jupiter went direct yesterday. Um, was it yesterday? I don't know. Maybe it was a few days ago. So Jupiter went direct in the sign of Cancer, and Cancer rules emotions and intuition. And I don't know about y'all, but I had so much emotion moving through me. Sometimes when that happens, I can tell it's a collective thing. And I think it was sort of like part collective, part me, but it wasn't just emotion. It was all sorts of stuff. It was like information, channeled messages, just like a waterfall, just like coming through me. And the message that had come through was let it through. So it almost felt like I was sort of opening up some sort of like a gateway in my heart and letting that rush of water of emotion just like move through me. It was wild. I mean, it was like tears. It was I was writing furiously at times. If you channel, like that stuff can come through very, very quickly. Anyway, I do suspect that has to do with the Jupiter direct. Jupiter expands everything it touches, and Cancer is all about emotions. So, like big emotions, massive emotions. And definitely that's a collective thing. So, you could be experiencing that as well. This Page of Swords came up, and he actually came up earlier when I attempted to do this video and then had to restart it. That could be a message as well. There could be something that you're restarting. Mercury's retrograde, so that happens a lot during Mercury retrograde. I'm almost getting the sense that we're dipping our toe into something new. Like we potentially have a new creative project, could also be a new intellectual project, like you're studying something new. But it's almost like you're the apprentice. You're just learning, you're just getting started. It could be a whole new field. Like, say you've never studied, psychology before, sociology before, and you like just discovered it. And you're opening up to this brand new world of this new information, but you're sort of just starting out. That's the vibe I'm getting from that, but we can keep pulling and see. Oof. Yeah. I really am getting the message from this card. This is the Five of Pentacles. The traditional interpretation is, being left out in the cold, like feeling like you're on the outside, like feeling like you're an outsider. I do think that part of this is free will in the sense that we need to let ourselves in to the light of the divine, to the light of consciousness. It's not that we know we're keeping ourselves out of the divine. We don't do it intentionally. We're programmed that way. We're programmed to believe that we're separate from the divine. But the practice, or part of the practice of a lot of the, people in the spiritual community, a lot of different spiritual paths will tell you that you are actually one with the divine. You're not separate from it. So that's been this whole journey of spirituality, is sort of going from this state of separateness to state of oneness. And that's kind of on us. Like we kind of have to take down that mental barrier, whatever that barrier is that we have between us and the divine. There really isn't one. It's just mentally imposed. It's just society. It's just us putting that barrier in between us and the light of wholeness of spirituality. So immediately we have the Six of Pentacles, which is the card that comes right after the Five of Pentacles. So this is a progression. Like I said, it's on us, like it's on our free will to step into that light of the divine. So when I see that progression from the Five of Pentacles to the Six of Pentacles, well, the Six of Pentacles is all about being in the flow. You give, you receive, that type of a thing. It's just like reciprocal energy. And that's what spirit is all about. Spirit's a conversation. If you talk to spirit, spirit's going to talk back. That's what channeling is all about. So that's interesting. On the top of the deck, we have the Page of Pentacles, which is interesting that we have all this Pentacles energy. So I don't know if there's like new beginnings and potential work stuff for y'all. Pentacles are all about work and finances, but again, it's that apprentice energy. So you could be going into a totally new field of work. It's something that you haven't tried before, but that it really feels aligned to where you're going. But you might need to like go back to school. You might need to pick up a new skill. It might be a trade that you're just learning, but it feels good. It feels like we're moving in the right direction, even if it feels like out of our comfort zone. Jesus. The Four of Pentacles. So we now have the 4, 5, 6, and Page of Pentacles. I don't know what's going on with all this Pentacles energy. The Four of Pentacles it's about stability, but I view it as a little bit more of a toxic sense of stability. Like we're holding on to something because we're afraid of what will happen if we let it go. And what happens is that we receive. When we let go, we go into the flow. We go into the Six of Pentacles energy. So when you let go of control, immediately something's going to come back to you, because that's how spirit works. So that's the invitation. Like, we're being asked to release any kind of self-imposed restrictions that we have in ourselves. That could be, maybe we're in a comfort zone and we don't want to let go of that comfort zone because we're afraid of what will happen. But we're being asked to go into that flow, and maybe that's where that emotion of the Jupiter direct emotion message came. They're gonna make me pick it up, make me work for it. Come on. All right, now we have the wands coming into play here. Again, with the progression, it's very strange because we had the 5 and the 6, the 4, 5, and the 6 of Pentacles. And now we have the 6 and the 7 of Wands. So it's like we're sort of marching steadily through this progression. The 6 of Wands can be all about being in the public eye, being victorious. So I think the depiction is somebody coming back from battle after being victorious in battle. But the 7 of Wands can be about defending ourselves. So feeling the need to put up a barrier. Like I was talking earlier, like the barrier that we have between us and spirit is really just self-imposed. It's not actually there. It doesn't exist, since we're all one, right? There is no barrier. So when we're putting up a barrier, it's just us. And that's almost kind of like what I felt when I had that message, let it through. That barrier that I was pulling aside to let that emotion through was myself. It felt like all of the social programming of the fear, of the anxiety, of, I'm not good enough, I'm too much, that type of stuff. It was like that was the stuff that I was kind of just moving to the side to let all of that emotion come through, because that was straight from the divine. That was straight from spirit. And that stuff, that anxiety, that fear was just blocking it. And it almost felt like it was just like stopped up energetically. And then when I just leaned into the emotion and I wasn't trying to grab it, I wasn't trying to control it, it was just like, it felt like at times it was like blissful. Like it felt so much better to lean into that emotion and not try to grab it with the 4 of Pentacles, not try to grab it onto it, not try to control it, not try to hold on to it. So at one point I was like, it was happening all so fast. I was like letting it, I was like, okay, let it through. It was like, okay, this thing is a fear thought. Okay, don't grab it. Don't try to understand it. Don't try to fix it. Just let it through. But the naming it helped too. So it was like, okay, this is an anxiety thought. Okay, move the shit aside. Let it through. Just let it through. And it went on like that for like a couple hours. It was pretty intense. I mean, when you're a channelist, you're used to stuff like that happening, but this was particularly intense. I would absolutely say that. On the that's interesting. We got a lot of interesting stuff coming up here, guys. We have the Ace of Pentacles, the Ace of Wands, and the Emperor. So the Ace of Pentacles is a brand new beginning in that finance sector, like I was talking about earlier, and the Ace of Wands is a brand new beginning in passion. So that's really like the ultimate goal. Like whatever it is in work, you don't want to be feeling like you're working because you're so passionate about it. You have that excitement about it. You have that drive. So even though it is work, you don't feel like you're working because you're doing something that's your life passion. And then with this Emperor, it's just, I'm just feeling like that's us being in control, but not in the toxic way. Like this is the toxic way. Like, oh my gosh, I have to hold on to this relationship. Oh my gosh, I have to hold on to this job. Oh my gosh, I have to hold on to this living situation. Otherwise I'm just like, everything's going to fall apart. But that's not real power, right? That's fear. And the Emperor finds that power, that stability inside himself. He knows that wherever he goes, no matter what happens, he's in charge. He's the shot caller. So he will be okay. No matter what happens, he'll be in the flow. As long as you let go, you're going to receive whatever it is that you need back from spirit. So I know it's a little bit of an abstract message, but that's what I'm getting from this. It's actually funny because I'm feeling those channeled messages coming through now, and it's a similar way. Like I'm trying to just like let it through because they're coming through kind of fast and intensely. And usually when that happens, like my breath speeds up. I'm feeling very like sort of energized. My nose usually feels like it's like like turning red because it feels kind of weird. I've actually heard other channelers say that their nose gets itchy when they channel. But yeah, we have the Chariot, which is about that. It's about movement, which is like emotions need to be in motion, which is what happened to me with that like Jupiter experience. And then we have this King of Swords, which again, it's about taking that control and that power back into ourselves from the exterior sources, but it's doing it in more of an intellectual way. Let's do an archetype card, shall we? Oof. This is what we have to let go of. I just felt really heavy when I looked at this. Just like, you know, that feeling when you have like a pit in the bottom of your stomach and it's like, oof. Yeah, we don't need that. Like, that doesn't even come from us. It's not ours. All of that heaviness, when you feel that heaviness, that doesn't even belong to you. You can release that. You can let that go or let it through. If it needs to come through you, you can like let that heaviness, like feel it and move it through you. Yeah, so we had the Judgment come out. And then underneath that, these are all major arcana, guys. All of them. The Fool, the Hierophant, sorry. The Fool, the Empress, and the Hierophant. We had the Emperor come out earlier. So it's, you know, whenever you start to see like all of this major arcana energy come up, you know that there's some big shit going on. Like this is not something small that's changing. This is a massive new chapter that's ending and closing, and a new one that's beginning. I think the World popped out earlier too. It's possible that some of these changes could be unexpected, so I just want to prepare you guys for that. I'm not getting anything bad. Like you're going to be okay. Like everything's going to be fine. I think in fact it will be better than fine. I think they will lead you into a place where you're much better off than you are now. But I do think that with this wake up call energy here, it's possible that some of those changes could be could feel like unstable. Like you could feel like you get the rug pulled out from under you. But again, don't worry, just trust it. It's for the best. And then with this Fool, it's, you know, it's heading in a brand new direction. So a lot of us, I think, will be heading in a new direction. And also, I think, you know, we do have that sort of abundance and love from Spirit available to us. And we also have, you know, resources. And if you want to look for a mentor or a teacher or somebody who can be more of a guidance figure for you, that's what the Hierophant represents. So, you know, there are resources out there available if you are feeling like, you know, you're feeling really lost, or you're feeling like you're swimming and you can't keep your head above the water. Reach out, you know, ask for help. There's a lot of people out here, especially in the spiritual community, that are great at, you know, coaching and just guiding you through times where things feel really turbulent. But I am feeling that, you know, things will really drastically improve on the other side of all of the instability. All right. Let's finish up with a oracle card. Yeah, the Bardo. So this is that in between. Ugh. I don't like being here. I know you don't like it either. It's just that place where you know you're ending a chapter and you know the new one is about to start, but you're in that unknown limbo phase. I think the Bardo represents the phase between life and death. I'm not getting it's anything that dramatic. Although, I don't know, some of you might be communicating with past unloved ones or stepping into your mediumship capabilities. That's certainly possible, that you're able to connect through that veil. But I'm really just getting this for most of us. It's like we are still in that fog where, you know, you try to turn the brights on and it just illuminates the fog. So all you can do is just keep going, you know, just slow down and like keep going steadily. And just move to the place in front of you where you can see. And then eventually the fog clears and it's fine. But it's sort of a space that obviously feels uncomfortable, but you just kind of have to trust that you're being led into a direction that's going to be a better one, like a better outcome for you. And then with this Judgment card, you know, Spirit is always talking to us, and I say this all the time, but this archangel in the card is actually the Archangel Gabriel, and he's the archangel of communication. He is associated with that because he announced Jesus's birth. So not in any sort of like religious capacity or anything, but just to say that There could be important announcements coming through, I just in the earthly realm for you. So that's just one message coming through. So just keep an eye out if there are ear out. Pay attention to your emails, pay attention even to your like regular mail, your phone, check your voicemail. There could be messages coming through for you that are important. But on the other side of that, I think is the message coming through that spirit is talking to you. I mean, they're talking to us all the time, but it feels like, especially when I'm tying this back now to that experience that I had with all the channels messages coming through with Jupiter direct, it's possible this is happening for you and that it's spirit trying to talk to you, trying to channel through messages, through however it is that you receive channeled messages, which is different for everyone, right? Like there's the claircognizance where you just know it. There's the clairaudience where you hear a message. There's the clairsentience where you feel it. There's the clairvoyance where you see it, you see a vision. There's all sorts of other ways too. Those are just the big ones. But pay attention, I think is what's coming to my brain here. And it feels like it's coming to my brain, not from my brain, but through spirit. You know what I mean? Like spirit wants you to pay attention to messages on this plane and on the other plane. There's important stuff. So, pick up the phone, it just in all senses of the word. So if spirit is calling, pick up the phone. Okay, guys, I'm going to leave it there. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.